of kings and great I am.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Kevin. Thank you for joining us for The Torch. Here's our host, Miss Pat.
Hey, everybody. We're back again.
We're back again. I like the new setup right here, don't you?
Yeah.
It's kind of cozy. I think Miss Pat wanted to do something at the end of the last season where it makes it a little bit more comfortable. We're just talking about these things, and this is what I think probably the average American, and I should say there's no American that's just average, are there?
No.
We're extraordinary American, the citizenry just sitting around talking about these kind of things. So what kind of show do you have for us today, Miss Pat?
Well, I was wandering through my computer the other day, through the files. That's a dangerous thing to do, by the way.
Go through your files.
And I ran across something that I wrote back in August of 2023.
August of 2023, and we're on...
It's 3 years ago.
3 years ago. And does it have probably something to do with what's going on today?
Exactly. It's part of it is from the American Patriots Bible.
The American Patriots Bible, which is one that you'd picked up back in those days.
Yeah,
had a
it's
lot
that big, thick one.
Yes, yes.
And and part of it is from me. So I'm gonna. It's not that long, and I'm going to read it.
Okay.
And then we can go from there.
Then we can go from there, and you can tell us what the show's about.
Yeah. He doesn't know.
I don't know. It's like, let's get to streaming. I think I accidentally hit the stream button a little early today, but anyway, we're here.
Anyway, this thing is made up. They're talking about 3 different things. It's a call to action, which is, by the way, the title of the show today.
Call to action, okay.
Call to action. It's in this series. It's time that we're going to be doing this whole season.
Sure.
But the first things that we can do as citizens is pray. 2 Chronicles 7:13 and 14. When I shut up the heaven and there is no rain, or command the locusts to devour the land, or send pestilence among my people, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land. I remember this from 9/11. This was something, verse 14, the last part of this, was
Right.
something that they used a lot around 9/11. But I'm going to read this next part because this is the process that we need to take.
Right.
So the process is ways to bring about change.
Ways to bring about change, and we need some.
Yes.
Continue. We've been seeing some change, but we need a lot more, I
We
think.
need a lot more.
Yep.
The laws of the governmental process of America are pathways for nonviolent, moral, social, and political change, which we need in all areas.
Mm-hmm.
First, they must be learned and understood before they can be properly applied. Therein, I think, lies some of the problem. When was the last time you read the Declaration of Independence?
Probably when we first started this course, and it's been our course podcast. We did the courses probably 4 years ago, probably at least.
Oh yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Or for that matter, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
That's been probably about the same amount of time.
And I was watching the festivities on YouTube the other day.
The fireworks stuff?
Fireworks and all of that. And I was looking at all those people, and I wondered how many of them have read these things. How many of them really understood what they were celebrating? Was it just the hot dogs and hamburgers and fireworks, or did they really realize that the freedoms, that their ability to stand out there and enjoy that,
Right.
was brought on by these documents?
Well, and we all know most of the freedoms that have been eroded are because the citizenry doesn't know the real history. I mean, the bad players that are behind the scenes on all the decay part of this it's willful and purposeful actions that they've taken to dumb down the citizenry so it was easier to overthrow this great republic. And so,
Which brings us to the next part.
yes,
Participate. Uh-oh.
participate.
Participate. Griping and complaining about what you consider wrong or unjust in our land is useless.
Right.
You need to become involved in the process of bringing about change for the better. James 4:17 says, "For any person who knows what is right to do and does not do it, to him it's sin."
So, like, it costs practically nothing but a few moments to call your representative. You know, and a lot of times your representatives, or call them, email them, text them, is, I mean, other than voting, that's a second easiest thing to do, I would think, is just to get on the phone and let them know your voice.
And while you're mentioning voting, those of you who have not registered, November's going to be here before you know it. And you need to be registered at least 30 days before the, I started to say auction.
Auction, yeah. The highest bidder, yeah. Registration before the election.
Right.
Well, you know, and I watched you know, we all have to kind of keep in the know on what's going on, but you know what? There is a information overload that can happen when you're hearing too many podcasts, because like every podcast is talking about some other big problem that we have, and it's like almost, you know, without the Lord, I think the entire population would be like down in the dumps, because without Him intervening and helping us to believe that there are good things happening, and there are good things happening, I think people would be really, because there's so many fronts. There's so many fronts that we have to battle on to push back against darkness. Basically, it's all of this junk that we're dealing with in the country. That's the negative stuff, and the horrendous stuff that's being introduced, or freedoms that are being taken after people have died to get us what we have. I mean, that's to me that's unacceptable, that these people have no skin in the game but yet want to overthrow, and which causes the people who lost their life and their fortunes trying to get us this, just trample them in the mud, and everybody knows, low information voters don't understand that supporting those kinds of things will be their demise too. It's like the sheep to the slaughter, or whatever, it's like they're participating in their own destruction by electing or supporting or
not voting.
Well, this lady that was on there was talking about the whole Save America Act, and everybody knows that there is something else going on in the Senate that's blocking this, and it's not the votes. There's something else, and we all know now that there is powerful people, organizations, and group behind the scenes that have been controlling things for a long time, but that even if the Save America Act and these things are not passed in time, well, they weren't passed in 2024 either. But the reason why, they tried to steal it too. They tried to steal that too. But the sheer number of voters outperformed their ability to steal it. So the citizenry we have to just plan on outvoting their cheating.
And when you go to vote, you need to know who you're voting for. There are some people who look really good on the surface.
That Tellerico guy in Texas Senate, he looks like a good-looking guy, right? I mean, for a guy, you don't vote for somebody because of the way they look. You don't vote for somebody because how charming they are. Right.
Just because they're going to hug you when they meet you doesn't mean that they're going to do what you want them to in the first place.
No.
You need to know if they really stand for what you want them to stand for, There are some out there, case in point, who they sound good on the surface, but when you start digging deeper, they're for abortion and all sorts of things like that. And, you know, everybody in this country has a lot of freedoms that are slowly eroding. Everybody has rights, right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yep.
And, you know, just as a side note on the case of abortion, that baby's a living person.
Right.
What about that baby's rights? And, you know, that's a whole nother topic that you can...
Well, like you said, the some of these people that are charming, or they're really tall, or they're elegant speakers. This guy that we were just talking about a minute ago, and I'll just say it, he's talking about a false prophet or a false teacher. That's the epitome of one, because he's talking about being a Christian, had some seminary stuff, supposedly got a pastor's degree, I guess, in Episcopal church, and all this kind of stuff. But absolutely has been shown that he is against so many of the big rock issues that His Majesty King Jesus is absolutely not okay with. But he's trying to appeal to low information people, voters, and I'm going to say it. It may be tacky, it may be unpolitical. Say it, low information. A low information voter is somebody who doesn't know. They just click, 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 or they hear one slogan. Because I watched one of his commercials, and there are some great people that are on the side of the conservative side that are bringing attention to these wolves in sheep clothing, and that's what we have to do too. That I saw his commercial, and it was like he listed off all these great and wonderful things that he's supposed to have done or been a part of or helped get passed. And it sounds good, and I'm sure people are going to vote based on even that commercial, because it sounds like, man, he is on it.
But did it happen?
Right, but they won't check any further than that. These people can lie.
Oh, sure.
I don't think it's against the law to lie on a commercial. I mean, I don't know.
Well, it should be, but...
So we already know that these things are not true, but the way it's being presented, it's like being the fruit in the Garden of Eden.
Dangling that fruit out there.
Banging, like, oh, look, it's beautiful, it's awesome, choose me, and it ends in death. So we've got to we cannot, with all this information at our fingertips, there's no reason for there to be anybody
Don't let your guard down.
Low information. So but back to your we got prayer.
We've got prayer. I call them the 3 P's. Prayer, participate, and the next one is persevere. That's a pretty straightforward word. Mm-hmm. Persist and persevere.
Yeah.
It's not always the strongest, smartest, or most elite who wins the battle. Mm-hmm. Luke 9:62. Jesus said to him, "No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God."
Yep.
If you're looking back behind you, if you're looking at the past, and you're reminiscing over the past, the way this country was, forget it. That's gone.
Yeah.
You're in the now, and the future is ahead of you. And what do you want that future to be? So be careful who you vote for.
Right, and I think we've said it just about on every show. Why are we involved in? Why are the Christian? Why not just us? Why should Christians be involved in politics? Because politics are about policy. Policy is about people. God cares about people. We are going to live underneath the policies of the people we vote into office.
So be careful.
So I'm glad to see, so going back to this thing about overwhelming, we did not have the Save America Act before, and with the providential hand of God Almighty, I believe, and the people that I believe the Spirit just wooed people to get out. I heard today, I didn't know this, that the majority of people who voted in the New York election to elect Mandani was only 10% of the population of New York.
And we know what that 10% was.
That guy won. Imagine if 90% of the conservatives and people that were on this, I think, the moral side, was to go out. That guy would not be in office, and he would not have helped get his buddies in too. So we've got, and people, I think I've heard now that there's actual communists that are going to be in the, I don't know if, well, I guess it'd have to be in November, that are going to be on the ballot that could be elected into office for the first time. I think open communists. They say socialism, communism is not the same, but socialism is the stepping stone to communism.
I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Oh, excuse me.
He doesn't know.
Okay, all right.
He doesn't know what I'm doing to him today.
Okay, so.
But one thing we need to remember, we as Christians have all the resources of God and Him available to us. He rules in the affairs of men with all power and authority. He is gracious, compassionate, and willing to give His love and mercy to us. And if we don't take advantage of that, well, what can I say?
Right.
So basically, in closing out this part of it, let us pray, participate, and persevere. The 3 P's. Let us be obedient to God and help turn this nation back to Him. Let us stand in the gap and make our lives to be salt and light in all families, our neighborhoods, and our workplaces. God wants to bless and forgive our sins and heal our nation. What more can you ask for? Except people to get up and
pray.
And pray.
Participate.
And persevere.
And persevere. There we go. See, even I can, even I can remember that, you know. So
3 P's.
3 P's, yeah.
Now we're going to talk a little bit about the church. Now I'm talking to a minister here, so maybe I'll step on his toes, but I doubt it.
Here's my toes. I didn't even put my shoes on today. Miss Pat wanted it nice and casual, so it's like, well, I'm not even wearing my shoes. So.
Well, I did wear shoes, but.
Oh, you did wear your shoes. I like those shoes. They're very nice shoes.
The church has some responsibilities.
They do.
One is to guide their congregation on the issues of today, to follow the teaching of the Bible, to stand for our freedoms of worship, speech, and they need to speak out.
Yes.
They need to speak from the pulpit. Don't be afraid that your congregation is going to get up and leave.
Right. Because I can, from experience, some of your congregation will leave.
But
and here we are. We're still here, and we have a bigger audience, a bigger platform now than we did before.
well, you know, those that leave, are they really?
They don't want to talk about politics.
They don't want to talk about politics. Jesus was all about politics.
Well, he is the actual king of kings, so kind of like he's the head of the government's on his shoulders.
That's what I was about to say.
So he's kind of like right in the middle of it, like you said. Like you can't get any more political than government is on his shoulders.
Yeah, you know. And so what are we as Christians doing? Okay, it could be some of the people's fault in the churches.
You're talking about the congregation itself? Yeah.
Are they not asking their pastor to talk about the issues of today?
I think it's almost baffling to me that any church would not be helping their people at this point in time in the game.
Are there pastors that closed that they can't go to them?
Say that part again?
Are there pastors that closed
Oh,
so that their congregation can't come to them with what they want to hear?
I don't know. I'm assuming that probably so. There's a lot of ministers that, and I would say if they're not been super political, tack is always the best way, because that pastor over that congregation or church is authority there. And so how do you manage authority, or how do you approach authority?
Tactfully.
And gracious, yeah, tactfully and gracious. It's like like going to your kids don't run up to their dads in the house and say, you better do him in, and start accusing them and being mean to them and disrespectful. That's going to get you everything you want.
Yeah.
And back when I was a little bit,
that's going to get you grounded.
or the belt, not that we would, but back when I was little, our parents didn't have any problem pulling off the belt and giving us a good whooping. Probably did us good. It probably deserved it.
Probably did.
But what I'm saying is, it's like, you got to approach authority and the proper, like give respect where respect is due, and I'm not saying that what you're saying is not right. It is right. But, I think, even if there's not an authority and you go with some tack, I think just...
Well, anytime you want change, especially change that the person who can do the change is very deeply involved in the opposite direction you want them to go, you have to approach them. You don't go to your boss and say, I want a raise.
Give me it right now, you.
You go in and you talk to them and, hey, schmooze with them. Go out and take them out to lunch, whatever.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's some Bible talks about those gifts given to, I don't know if that's a proverb or an Ecclesiastes, but about giving like some gifts and stuff, not bribing, but gifts and
gifts. Just drop a donut on their desk.
If you're looking for somewhere to drop a donut, I'll take it right now. So I'll take some donuts. Anyway, so back to the church, and you're like, you had a list of things for the churches and stuff like that. It would be amazing to me after all of this last 5 years now, because really, I think we were shaken quite a bit since 2020. Before that, there were still people on the fence wondering what's happening, what's going on. When I actually started getting involved in politics more was second term of Obama, because I knew something was off with that second term.
When it all started, well, it started long before this, but what really brought it to the surface more, go back to September the 11th, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
People probably know exactly where they were on that day.
Yeah.
I know where I was.
Yeah, I know where I was too. Mm-hmm.
And it was shocking to the whole nation.
Yeah.
And I think it opens the eyes of a lot of people, but over time people tend to forget. And I don't know how you forget something like that, but people tend to forget, and they think, well, it won't happen again. That's not true. It can happen any time.
Especially when you imported military-aged men during the last 4 years. We've all heard reports of that there were people caught at the border from military stuff in other countries. It's like, how did you come in from like Botswana, Africa, and you're coming through Mexico border?
Yeah.
They're not all like from South America, they're like from
other places.
Like, I don't know, Iraq, coming through the Mexico border, military-aged men, not families. So I think everybody knows these things. So, what we're sharing is nothing that's not mainstream now across the people are talking about, when I do my feed, when I like scroll through some of the feed on my social media, I'm seeing more and more city council meetings with people standing up in the city councils and calling out the parliamentary kind of like, a lot of these city councils have been operating outside of the normal American decor. Like, is it parliamentary?
Parliamentary procedures.
Like, where all those city councils and stuff are supposed to follow kind of
Of outline of what the way they go through it.
right, like meeting kind of like even the church has to do a certain. We have to have a quorum. We have to, write in the minutes what happened, and so it's not just it's like organizations and well, a lot of these even city councils have been just running the whole thing like it's their own personal little piggy bank and their own little thrones. But I'm seeing like more and more people standing up and saying that this is not going to be how it's going to. We are the citizens. We are the employers. We are the ones who vote you in, and that you work for us, kind of thing. And it's like, wow. So unfortunately, it's taken such slaps in the people's faces, like the Save America Act once again. Democrats and Republicans want that, but leadership, that there's something else beyond leadership that's telling them, the leadership in the Senate, what to do. It's not that they don't have the votes,
and it's not the people telling them what to do. That's part of the problem.
Right. The people have said what we wanted. The people, Republicans and Democrats and Libertarian, like all of them. It's probably, supposedly, that's what I'm hearing anyway. It's like the most. Is it bipartisan? Is where everybody wants it. The most popular bill that's ever been in Congress for a long time between all the parties want this. So how is there not enough votes? Or how is there not enough procedures? They've got the parliamentarian in the Senate, supposedly, that's an unelected person. The Senate majority leader can fire them anytime. They were put in there from Obama or somebody like that, and they're blocking. I don't know how they can do it. It's an unelected position, are able to block so many things. Unelected.
They need to.
We're learning a lot. We're learning so much about what's going on in which if we all were educated on these things, then the people would not have put up with this for this long. So the population is waking. You can just go talk to pretty well anybody on the street, and they're all feeling kind of the same way.
Yeah, anybody I talk to is they're looking at it and saying it's all wrong. Mm-hmm. And well, I realize that a lot of people look at this and they say, I'm one person.
Right.
I understand that. I'm one person. And if you'd have told me 8 years ago that I would be doing this, I'd have laughed at you. I mean, there's no way that I was never politically inclined. And I didn't want anything to do with it.
You taught Constitution classes too,
Yeah.
before groups of people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a long ways that you came.
Yeah, it's really a long ways that I claim, and I'm standing here in front of a group of people and I'm saying, now what do I do? But, you fake it till you make it.
And it was good. Those classes were good. I liked it. I learned a lot during those classes. And
by the way, I'll teach them again.
Yeah, we're like anybody wants to Constitutional class. It's probably, it's almost one of those things if we don't kind of keep pushing it and getting it on the calendar. And this is like, I think everybody, if it's not on the calendar, it just doesn't happen. So if for you out there at home, if you're wanting to do stuff, get it on the calendar and work towards it, because if it's on there, it's more likely to happen. like gathering together with your friends during the week to talk about what you can do to get involved or how you can share. Like, we schedule this now, other than the in between, it's a weekly schedule, even though it's a little sliding. It's on the calendar to happen each week for a period of time. It happens. I don't think we ever really miss. We might move the day.
Yeah, we've moved it a couple of times.
But never not.
Yeah.
Done it
I don't
once it's
think we've
scheduled.
ever missed one.
Like the time or the schedule might have been changed, but that's why we do VOD, video on demand now. A lot of people are able to see this on demand, So, we were talking about communism.
Yeah, that was next on the list.
Actually, I wasn't talking. You were talking. Who was talking about that?
You were.
Oh, okay, it was me.
But each day, every one of us, if we're looking at some news feed, although I don't look at the news too much, I just get mad at it.
I know. That's why I need to stop looking so much at it.
And but every day, we're confronted by threats of communism and socialism and quite a few other isms. So, what are they? And how do they compare to this nation's capitalism? Can you define them? I've got the definition that I took off the internet.
Oh, okay. Well, then, since you already have them handy, I would not want to take away from you sharing them.
Okay, I'm going to read them. Socialism uses government or collective ownership of resources to redistribute wealth and eliminate rigid class structures. Communism seeks the total elimination of private property and a stateless society where goods are distributed based on need. Capitalism relies on private ownership and free markets for wealth generation where supply and demand dictate prices.
Yep.
So I went a step farther and I said, I looked up something that would give me some idea of what various people think when they start comparing them. Economists, sociologists, and citizens have varying viewpoints on how the system operates in practice. Supporters of capitalism argue that capitalism encourages innovation, efficiency, and economic growth by rewarding hard work and entrepreneurial risk.
Entrepreneurial risk. Keep that in mind.
Critics of capitalism point out that the system often leads to wealth inequality, market failures, and the exploitation of labor, where capital owners benefit disproportionately from the labor of their workers. Well, I was raised in a household that didn't have a lot of money. My mom stayed home like most women did at that time. My dad worked. He was a master carpenter. We didn't have a lot of money. They lived through the Depression with 2 children. I wasn't there yet. But there was always food on the table.
Yep.
And there was always clothes on their backs and shoes on their feet. They may not be the nicest clothes. They may be hand-me-down clothes. But that's the way it was. Yeah, there were people out there who had a lot of money. But you know what? A lot of those people were very generous
Yep.
in doing donations and stuff like that. They weren't like people of today who, that's mine,
Right.
and you're not going to get any of it,
Right.
But that kind of points out what these three stand for. Socialism is kind of middle ground. Because
But not good still.
It's-
Middle ground,
yeah.
but not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
We don't want socialism.
No, we don't want socialism. Capitalism, you own you own property.
Property tax is like a stepping stone to socialism because you can never really own your house. We're just
Yeah.
renting it from the government.
Yeah,
Can you imagine them coming and taking your house away because you didn't pay your $4,000 tax bill on a $200,000 house? They sell it, get the money, and you don't get nothing?
yeah. Well,
Ridiculous.
think about the New York City.
Oh my goodness. Those people are really, they get what they ask for.
Well, the property, this rent, the rent freezes and stuff like that. It forces everybody to rent. Nobody owns property.
You can't afford.
The city owns the property because they raised the rent. I mean, they froze the rent, so the property owners can't afford to maintain the property,
Right.
and that means they can't afford to keep the property.
Right, and if it's too expensive for you to live in New York, move.
Yeah,
You have a free choice. So back to the capitalism and that one little thing, because, we've had our stints in entrepreneurship. Most of my working time was like things that we'd created and done. It was all our risk. Like, we didn't ask anybody that worked with us and for us to put up the money or to take the risk. Matter of fact, there for a while, I was the first one to show up to work, the last one to leave, working through the weekend. And I came to a point in time, like many years into work, if I can't get it done in the 75 hours I'm doing during the week, then that's too bad. I'm not coming in on every weekend. I started not coming, but I was the last one to get paid too. We had to make sure everybody was paid first. So if there was then, like my salary was always at that time less than some of the people that I was paying, but the hope was there of doing well with different positions and different things, even from landscaping. I was in landscaping. I always had a couple guys working with us. And I remember it was a couple friends too. At one time I said, you know what, we're going to do a 60-40 split. My stuff, my vehicle, my equipment, my advertisement, my name, my company, and they had the biggest problem with me getting more to pay for the fuel for the vehicle, upkeep on the equipment. They wanted all 50-50, or I guess 33% each. It's like, no, I'm gonna I'm gonna pay you that, but it was like, well, no, we're gonna come work for you, but we want like a third, because there's three of us.
but they weren't sharing with any of the expenses of
No,
running
and
the
I
business.
picked everybody up, took everybody home. That's socialism right there. That's what that is.
What it amounts to is, or my experience was, I got what was left over, if there was anything left over.
If there was any, and if there wasn't, guess whose savings account had to go?
Yeah, and guess what I did? I said, forget this whole thing. I'll go work for somebody else.
Yeah, right. So, in the taxes, the self-employment taxes. So, if you work for yourself, you're stuck with all like 15.5% taxes on everything. On top of that, plus then you have to get taxed on any like the profits and stuff, depending on how you're. So, tell me that rich capitalist corporate owner, if they stuck it out, and they finally got to a point where the company is taking off and they're able to be rewarded for their risk taking, their thing, and let's say they're making a lot more money than the worker. Too bad, so sad. Go get another job, or you create it next time. You start the company next time.
And everybody has that opportunity.
They do, but a lot of people want to whine about all these capitalist, rich, corporate, fat cat kind of thing. It's like, well, get off your backside and you go start something.
I feel that those people who Daddy or Grandpa started the business, and it rolled over and rolled over and rolled over to the current
Yeah.
regime. Well, they don't deserve too much credit. I mean,
No.
they're living off of what Grandpa did.
Right, right. Now, if
And-
they're hardworking like Grandpa was, like,
Most of them are not hardworking like Grandpa
probably
was.
not.
They're just reaping the benefits of Grandpa's sweat and blood.
Right, right.
You know, our dads. You know, whoever it was.
But you got the pros and cons to all the systems, but the capitalist has lifted more people up out of poverty. More people have been lifted up out of poverty in capitalism than any of the other ones combined. And you can't, why does anybody want to work harder if you're going to get exactly the same?
There's no reason for it.
That's what socialism and communism does. You all get exactly the same. So everybody, go to some of these other go to some of these other communist countries. The alcoholism is running rampant, and because people they're depressed, there's no reason to do better.
They're not really living any better than what they were living before communism. It's like if you take this country and you force it into or even socialism.
Yeah.
That's not going to take that poor guy that lives on the street off the street.
No.
It's going to put more people out there.
And the people who wanted it are going to get to live higher on the hog, because it's always the ones who promote socialism and communism who get the offices or the elite status. They never live like all the people that they sold it to.
I've always said that these people who set up these apartments and stuff, and they're slumlords.
Yep.
I always said that they need to spend. I always said that our illustrious congressmen need to spend 6 weeks, just 6 weeks,
Yeah.
living like the ordinary person does.
Right.
That's all, just 6 weeks. Them and their family. Mm-hmm. Put their family in there too. And their whole outlook would change.
Well, some of these guys, they've never had a real job.
Well, some of them have been sitting up there in the Senate and Congress, and the House.
That's what I'm saying. None of them ever created a job for anybody else.
They're so old now they'd sleep through if they're even there.
Yeah, there's a big controversy over one of those senators right now that's been in a hospital for a while. It's just like AOL for 30 days. I think there's like staff is voting for them and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't want to say too much, but one guy's gone. Where are they?
It's just but I'm sorry, it comes right back to one thing. We the people aren't doing what we should be doing. Mm-hmm. We are letting them get away with this.
Yeah.
And the best way to stop it is to vote. No, that's not really the best way to stop it. It's one of the ways to stop it.
Yeah, one.
But when you vote, you've got to know who you're voting for. You can't just go out there and
Right.
mark your little box or punch your little button.
There's too many programs, very vetted programs like iVoter Guide that's been vetted, that are going to give you, I think, the most unbiased truth. I mean, there's some other Texas values and some of those unbiased, I think, truth about, of course, I guess, it's from a conservative biblical standard, but like,
that's what this country's built on.
I know. So there is enough information at people's fingertips. Well, I don't know how to find out if this person's right or wrong. Well, you might have to actually research a little bit yourself and not just rely on somebody else to do it for you. There's a lot of that goes on. It's like, I need somebody else to do all of it for me.
It doesn't take too much time, but iVoter Guide, they do it for you.
I know, but I don't even have time to read a iVoter's Guide.
It's not that hard.
I know, but I need just somebody to tell me which box to fill in.
Well, why don't we do this? why don't we look at it and say, you're just trying to make excuses for not doing anything.
That's true.
What are you doing in the meantime?
Right. That's right. What are you doing in the meantime? You should be praying.
I mean,
Prepare it.
you can't sit there and
Say it. Say it.
expect everybody else to do your bidding. You're not a child anymore.
Right.
Grow up, put on your big boy pants, and get out and do your due diligence.
Right.
That's hard to say.
Due diligence.
Do your due diligence.
Due-
And
Get
it's
mad about it, and if you a little holy anger helps you get, like, if you have a little holy anger because we have such a beautiful nation and there's people that are wanting to try to destroy it, that should make you have a holy anger.
I mean, look around you. I get up in the morning and I look out and the sun rises. Or in the evening, I can see the sunset through my kitchen window, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm one of these people who loves the fluffy white clouds.
I do like fluffy white clouds too.
I love the fluffy white clouds, and
We see those when they're not.
and you
It's a
know,
whole nother topic there.
I spend a lot of time above those fluffy white clouds. They're really pretty from up there too.
You talking about like in prayer?
No,
Oh.
well, but that might be an idea.
You're praying from an elevated place, right? You're
Praying from an elevated place.
Praying from
I'm
authority.
talking about from an airplane.
Oh, an airplane, yes, that
Yeah,
too.
and I don't mean a big old commercial airliner where you can't see anything. I mean small aircraft where you can see God's ideas. And you get up high enough up there, you're getting closer to God. And you feel it. It's soothing. All you're hearing is the drone of the engines, and you sit back and look out the window.
And you probably have a whole lot more faith in operation too when you're up there, because you have to believe that engine is going to stay running. You know, really. I mean, you
Well, I
got
experienced that too.
so you have to have a little bit more faith, I would think, that this thing is not going to fall like a lead weight out of the
Well,
clouds.
you know, some of these small aircraft may have 2 gas tanks. And there's a little switch that you have to switch over.
Oh,
Well, we couldn't get the switch to turn.
was it stuck or was it like electronic thing? It
It
was
was
not.
stuck.
Oh,
My husband's sitting there saying, "Pull, Pat, pull," and I'm pulling,
could not.
trying to keep the nose up.
Oh,
Because the gas was gone, and he finally got it switched. And
was the engine even puttering or was it?
It was still a little bit,
Oh.
you know. And he finally got it switched over, and he
Her husband was pilot for many years,
he finally got it switched over, and the engine purred away, and off we went.
Came back to life. Was that a little nervous at that moment?
I was too busy pulling.
I could see Miss Pat pulling that steering wheel back. Is it a steering wheel or is it called a yoke?
A yoke.
So anyway,
That's hard to pull. The weight of that nose out there, you're.
because if you're not got the engine running at full,
Yeah,
it's not pulling.
It's not pulling. It's not the air flowing across the airplane is not there to pull it up.
So,
But you know, that's the whole thing. You need to be involved. You need to do your due diligence, and you can't expect everybody else to do it for you because they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what you're looking for. They don't know what you don't know. And I could sit here all day and tell you,
right.
but your ideas are not my ideas.
Well, if people can get on the internet for all this other stuff, they can get on the internet and go read some candidates. Come on.
Well, if
You know what I'm talking about? Read up on the. If we can go to all these other websites and figure out how to get through all those other websites, you can go to iVoter Guide. It's very self-explanatory.
you go to ivoterguide.com, You put in the address that is on your voter registration card, and it takes you to the whole list of whoever's on your ballot.
And then all you have to do is like pick up your eyeball and actually read what's said right there. And
It's even got a little gauge there that shows whether they're liberal or conservative.
and like degrees of.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we've used that before, and how they gauge that gauge. They gauge the gauge on their, I think, the candidate's voting record / who they're giving money to / who's giving money to them, because you follow the money. I mean, that is the best way to find out what somebody's really like.
And a questionnaire
Follow the money.
of the candidate themselves, if they bother to fill out the questionnaire. If they don't bother to fill out the questionnaire, I look at it from the point of view that maybe they're not that serious.
Or yeah, they don't want to.
They don't want to commit to what they really believe.
Yeah,
And
there's some of the current candidates that they don't fill them out anymore, which is crazy. It's like,
Yeah.
well, they got them. I filled it out the first time. I'm not filling it out every single time. Well, maybe you shouldn't run for office again.
yeah, if
So.
that's your attitude, you know.
Right. So as we conclude, like, did we get through most of your material today?
Most of my material, I've got a closing that's directed at the churches. Are we close to closing?
I was looking at the clock up there. We're about 45 minutes in already.
Oh, well, okay.
Last time we got to go for an hour and like 20 minutes or something. That was a long one, but it was good. So, what is there any more points that you really needed to make on this particular?
Well, I guess the major point is go out, get yourself registered to vote. It's very important that we get voters in there and get them voting, unless you want to continue in the same mode we're in, and unless you want to get more liberals than we have conservatives in Congress. That is a no-no. We don't want to do that. And in order to do that, you can go online and you can get it started. You may have to mail something in, but that's okay. There's still a post office and they still sell stamps.
Stamps? What's that?
That's those little square things up in the corner of the envelope.
When you lick them, you put them on. I don't even know if they have licking ones anymore.
I don't think so. I don't have any. I just peel them off of something and stick it on. I actually have some stamps.
You know, I think I can remember the taste of a stamp still.
Oh, yuck.
So anyway, this is how we get on rabbit trails.
Yes.
So
But register to vote. I'm going to start stressing that again. I nagged you about it in the last season. So here we go again. Get yourself registered. November's going to be here before you know it. And start right now looking at the candidates. If you took 15 minutes out of your scrolling on Facebook and went to ivoterguide.com or any place, go online. I've given
website addresses.
website addresses so many times. If you go there, you can even watch what's going on in the Senate if they're in session. You can go back. ivoterguide.com. There you go. You can go back and you can go into the website for the Congress, for the Senate and the House, and you can look at their voting records. You can look at what they're doing, what kind of bills they're doing, they're supporting. And if you don't like that bill, then sit down and write a letter about it, instead of just, oh no, he's doing that.
We really do have to. I mean, you have to look at everybody that's an American citizen. Okay, I'm sorry if you're not an American citizen. This does not pertain to you. American citizens are the employers. So sometimes you got to watch your staff, and sometimes you got to have a conversation with staff. These people, as a representative government, they represent the people in their area. So if the people in their area, the majority of whom sent them to represent them, and sometimes they need to be sometimes we have to have a little evaluation, and citizenry let them know. Okay, it's not just, we fire bad ones through the ballot box, but, sometimes sending a letter as an employer or addressing something is what has to happen.
Well,
They work for you.
You work for a company. You have an employer yourself. Some of you do. Some of you are the employers.
Yep.
Well, either way, the employer evaluates their employees.
Yep.
In most cases, I've always got evaluations, whether it was 6 months or a year or whatever. And in that evaluation, they pointed out your good points and your bad points.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what we need to do. And we, as citizens of this country, certainly need to stand up and be heard. And at that, I'm going to close.
Yes.
And my statement is, churches arise. That means you pastors and you congregants. It's time to shine God's light on the church and His children worldwide. I'm not talking about just here.
Right.
Shine His light on the issues of today. It's time to overcome those who would destroy the Christian community and all that it stands for. God is with us. Be doers of the word and not hearers only.
Yep.
It occurred to me the other day that they talk about culture and counterculture. We, as Christians, are slowly becoming the counterculture.
Right. Unfortunately, yeah.
So,
We have to bring attention to the matter. Okay, that's what the torch is about. Bring attention, some light to the matter. Shine a little light on it.
that's what God gave it to me for. Well, He didn't give it. He's using that torch to lead me what to say.
Yep. Yep.
Sometimes I don't do quite what He wants me to.
Well, it's pretty good shows on this end anyway. So anyway, pray.
Yes, why don't you?
Okay. Father, we thank you again for allowing us to be able to have a platform we can share. Thank you that we do have the amendments to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and all these things that allow the people here in this country to say really what they want to say. And so a lot of people in other countries don't dare speak out against the government or the situation for fear of retaliation and all those kind of things, but not here in America. Here we can share because the citizens are the government. We are the employers. And so, Lord, most everybody, we're seeing vast number of people that are aware of what's going on, and the numbers are growing every single day. What the enemy meant for harm, God, you're turning it all for good. What the enemy wanted to keep in hidden places, God, you're bringing it to the light. We do serve a king whose government is upon his shoulders. The government is upon his shoulders, who is aware of everything that's going on, and he has the final say. And so for all of us out here that are looking from this level down here, we also have to remember to rise up, to look at it from his point of view, that the Lord God, Jesus Christ, is in charge. He's the king. And in the end, everything that he wants is going to happen. And so it's better not to fight him. It's better not to go against him. It's better to be on board with what he wants to do, which is good. I mean, it's all good. And so why would anybody want bad? And why would anybody not stand for morality, like the goodness? It's like it's so crazy, but we do have an enemy also. And so, Lord, we ask you to help the churches and the people to every place they can be involved and to share the information and not be like hiding under a rock somewhere, hoping that, Anyway, we love you, Jesus. We bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Take action.